Alright, so this video is just something that I wanted to put out there that was all about my opinion on how the Batman vs Superman movies should have been shot. I say movies because I think it should have been shot in threes with movies in between. Starting off, I feel like more money should have been grabbed out of this. You could have had this movie come out, a year later have the other one come out, a year later have the other one come out, and even in between throw in those other DC movies. There's a lot of catching up to do that DC wants to do, which they don't have to do, and I've said before, they can take their time on these films. But they have rushed it, and they have rushed three movies into one, which is your new Dawn of Justice. So first of all, I'm going to start with the first movie. First movie should just been called Batman vs. Superman. It doesn't need another title. It doesn't need anything else. But this movie should have been the built-up of Batman and Superman coming together and not liking each other. And it should have played on that. Not every movie needs a villain. It does need conflict. And we could have got that out of this. Now, I think the way this movie should have gone is should have really focused on the hatred of these two to the build up to the big fight. And then at the end, somehow showing that Lex Luthor was... He thought Batman was someone who could stop him. Stop, Superman. Because it should have been Lex Luthor and Bruce Wayne coming together and be like, yeah, this is a threat. He's obviously too powerful. Lex Luthor should have had more impression on Superman to convince him to fight, Batman, convincing him to fight Superman. And that's the way it should have gone down. And at the end, they were like, no, Lex Luthor is our real villain. And so they go after Lex Luthor, but he's already escaped. He already saw that it's not working out the way he thought it was going to, so he had fled. And then in the second one, introducing more on Lex Luthor, focusing more on him, discovering, kryptonite, its weakness on Superman. Batman and Superman more working together. In the first movie, you see Wonder Woman, but I don't want to see her as Wonder Woman. I still want to see her as a secret identity, watching all this unfold to the point that she feels like she should really step in. And then in the second movie, that's when Wonder Woman steps in. After Batman and Superman, more of a kind of detective style, focusing on Lex Luthor and Batman more, coming down to where they got Lex Luthor cornered. And that's the big fight scene for the second movie. Make it bigger. Make him have his armored suit. Make him have his, kryptonite lasers and stuff like that nature. And then have Wonder Woman step in that fight as well. And eventually capturing him and putting him in jail. And at the end of the credits, I think what would have been perfect is you have Lex Luthor in jail and he's talking to his secretary, the woman that's usually by his side that you see in the comic books and in the cartoon, and have him tell her start the Doomsday Project. And then the third one's your big climax. That's when it's build up to the big fight between the three heroes, Doomsday, and then that's when you can even add in Aquaman. And call that one the Dawn of Justice. That way you have the build up, and they know and they understand that we need a team to fight threats of this nature. And I think that'd be really important because that would branch off. Then you could start bringing in all these other heroes and this and that. And at the end of the credits on the third one, what I have always thought would be an awesome end of credit scene is you have this black guy walking down the street in a large coat. It's raining. It doesn't seem to bother him. It's in a dark city. He walks past an alleyway, and Batman steps out. And Batman starts talking to him. The guy turns around to talk to him, and then Batman can try and tell him, we need you a part of this team. The guy says to him, something like, why would I want to be part of this team? And then you have Superman that drops down and says, because you have great power. And then the guy looks over his shoulder, and when you see him look over his shoulder, his eyes start to turn green. and then that's it. That would be an awesome setup to having Jon Stewart come in as the Green Lantern. And that's just my opinion. These movies should have been broken down in three. One Woman actually could have came in between the first and second movie as her own solo film, and then maybe a film between, the second and third one to start introducing Aquaman. So like I said, it could have been built up to this phase one like Avengers had, but didn't quite reach that step. And that's just my opinion. That's my thoughts on how these movies should have been done. Of course, we'll get everything rolled up in the one movie, so we'll see how well it goes. But comment below, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you thought. And maybe we can come up with even some more better ideas. And maybe one day in the future when we're 60, they won't screw it up. Thanks for watching.